with his address. Over to you, Chancellor Sir.
Thank you for that brief introduction. First of all, let me thank the Central University of Rajasthan and its Vice Chancellor, Professor Neeraj Gupta, and all other academic staff, head of the departments and others for this honor done to me by inviting me to make some remarks in the context of the faculty development. I would like to use this opportunity to greet all of you on this festival season. I'm sure that this university, with the blessings during this period, is poised to rise to higher levels of achievements in the coming years. And I would like to wish you all the very best, and especially we have a new Vice Chancellor, Professor Neeraj Gupta, whom I know earlier, but now who is at the head of the affairs. I'm also very happy to see Professor Arun Pujari, the previous Vice Chancellor with whom I worked for a longer period. And I would like to use this opportunity, first of all, to compliment him for everything that he did for this university. A tremendous growth it has witnessed, it has created a position of prominence and eminence in the context of the central universities of this country, created new programs, some of them are very visionary. And I'm also happy to see that he has already started working with academic programs, which in a sense represent the several elements of the national education policy, well ahead of many other universities which have started thinking about it. So I would like to use this opportunity to compliment him, thank him on behalf of the university, and wish him the very best in the coming years. The university, as I said, is progressing well. One of the nice things about this university is the fact that they have already a teachers learning center. The national education policy, if you recall, had already recommended very strongly about a center of excellence in education. I will give a little bit about the center of excellence in education, what we have in mind in the policy. But I know that there are many elements of this which is already mentioned in the earlier introductory remarks by the Vice Chancellor about this activity of education in this university, something which is well tailor-made with respect to the kind of things that we are expecting once you start implementing the policy itself. And therefore, there is a question of a reorientation and a reorganization or reconfiguration, which is possible within the system that you have already. The Teaching Learning Center is an excellent example. I see some very eminent academicians being a part of organizing this activity within the center. So at the national level also, I would like to mention in the introductory remarks that things are moving on the implementation stage. There are various ways in which this implementation is being looked at by various agencies concerned. There are discussions that are currently going on. I may only mention that last Saturday we had a meeting with the Secretary Higher Education, Sri Amit Khare, with some of us who are a part of the policy formulation, and we exchanged our own views about the way we should go ahead on the implementation because of the kind of things that are still the various approaches that is possible, that are various models that can be adopted, and also the opinions that are heard. I think I would comment on these as a move towards the policies. I would like to express a little more detail about the policy itself, and using that opportunity to come to specifics on areas where we think a certain direction in implementation can be adopted based on the present thinking. But I think we have a long way to go. The policy is not an isolated policy of individual items. I want to emphasize this. And they are interconnected. The process has to be continued from one end to another. And this is a roadmap which gives you an end-to-end kind of a concept in implementing the policy. So one has to look at every element of the policy with respect to how does it implicate or how does it imply with respect to the other elements of the policy. So there is a lot of analysis to be done. We cannot jump into an implementation strategy where we may lose track of the fact that we have this interconnectedness between the various elements of the policy. This includes even the connection between the school education and the higher education. So I want to make this initial remarks because there will be a tendency sometimes to immediately look